heart to see all this friendly and supportive face. Really, really, thank you so much for coming. So before I start, I would love to talk about my program a little bit because this is also my dissertation topic, so quite important to me. So some of you have heard me talking about female composer already. So my topic is about female virtuosity. Before we talk about female virtuosity, I want to talk about concert etudes. I don't know if you have a very clear idea about etude and concert etude. If you do, that's great. If you don't, that is even more great because I will just tell you. Okay, so the word etude, E-T-U-D-E, it literally means like an exercise, a practice. So when you try to learn any instrument, you have to practice, right? Playing piano is so much fun, but practice not so much, right? Because the etude, those in the method books, is always like this. Very fast. Is it very musical? Not really, right? Just a lot of notes putting together. And some of my piano students are here. I think you know what I'm talking about when I say scale, right? You have to practice scale. Your teacher told you this week C major, next week G major. It's not very musical. Can you imagine if I perform the whole recital just a bunch of this? That would be a big torture, right? So one day, composers finally they realize we have to make etude more musical and with meaning so that our audience don't feel bored. Yes, exactly. Okay, so who is the first pianist and composer did this modification or revolution, evolution, whatever you want to talk about etude? It's our Chopin. So you have heard of his famous okay. So, okay, wonderful. As a pianist and a music student, like piano, especially piano performance major student, we were all required to play an etude when we have piano competition. Those competitions I have won, and when audition to music school is required to play a concert etude with virtuosic technique, kind of show off. And always on those websites, you have the freedom to choose any concert etude you want to play, but it has to be composed by Chopin, Liszt, Rachmaninoff, Debussy, Scriabin, those big names. But there is one common thing among those requirements. They have to be composed by dead white men. Exactly. One more time. I'm not saying those old dead white men are bad. Their works were really brilliant. I love them so much. That's why I keep playing. But ever since I started my doctoral degree in University of Iowa, because all those courses we took, conference, our professor told us like so much more knowledge than I knew before. So I started to explore more options because I think female composers actually they had really great works too. Just we don't know. We just don't know. So I want to promote these female composers' etudes not because those dead white men are bad, because they are equally good. I hope I make sense. Yes. Okay, so I picked these three composers. The first one is Louise Farranc. Let's start from her. I picked those women composers because they got something like just some special thing. And allow me to tell you about this. I know I'm a little bit talkative and I'm a little bit nervous, so I talk a little bit faster than I used to. I don't know. Okay. So Louise Farranc. He's from France, yes. And the special thing is she's the first female who taught composition class in very prestigious Paris Conservatoire. Before her, female can teach piano, they can teach instrument, But in 19th century, very traditional Europe, they used to have these rules that women cannot teach composition because composition is something only men know how to teach. But she made it. She became a professor, theory composition professor in Paris Conservatoire. So she's really great in my opinion. And there was a really, really great thing she did for all the women. She found out, after teaching 1 year in Paris Conservatoire, she found out her paycheck is so much less, like, yeah, than her colleague who taught the same course. He got paid more just because he's a man. So she took some action. Louis Ferrand, she took some action. She complains, protest to the dean of the Paris Conservatoire, and then they fixed the paycheck for her. Yeah, so good for her. Yeah, and this set of etudes I'm about to perform. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to play like the whole book because that's going to take a lot of time. But I will be recording this in my CD album as part of my. It's part of the requirement of the degree. Yeah, okay, so I picked number 1 and 5, but today I think I really want to add number 2. Yes. Okay, so why did I pick this set of etudes? Because this set of etudes was used as a jury piece, like a final exam piece for Paris Conservatoire piano major students back then in 19th century. So I do think the pedagogical value is definitely here for this set of concert etude. And another fun thing, this is my personal stuff. Those etudes she composed, they don't have title. Do you understand what is title? Like the title of the piece. If you have heard of Debussy's Prelude, Debussy didn't put the title in the beginning of each piece. He put it at the end of the piece because he wants everybody, the audience, to have the imagination to give the title, the proper title to the piece. Because everyone probably thinks quite differently, right? I play something, Chris might think this is 101 Dalmatian. And Amy probably will be thinking about dragons. or kitty, right? So everybody has that freedom to have different interpretation. That's why I think this is really nice. So I'm not going to tell you what is the title in my heart, so you guess. Okay, let's start from number 1. I feel like this is like a storm. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah, like tornado or hurricane or storm, anything like that. Okay, cool. Let's move on. So number 2 is a very different. I am gonna change the vibe here. Yeah. Okay. light-hearted, like a dance-like thing for me, like happy, like a bird in the early spring, that kind of vibe. I really love that. Okay, now let's move on to number 5. This is one of my favorites because it's so lyrical, like dreamy, like telling a story, something. So it actually reminded my childhood to me. Yeah, that's just sweet, nice memory. I'm gonna take everyone to, on board to this time machine because we are going to early 20th century in Poland. Yay! Okay, so that wasn't a really fun time back then, right? Because Second World War just finished, and right after this Nazi the war, Poland actually went into a communist era, right, because the war is just over. So actually the Polish government started to force all the composers to compose with Polish traditional folk song. So actually those composers, they didn't have the freedom to compose whatever they want because, the government started to do this, what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this composer composer, Grozina Batevich. She's really cool because she's such a rebel. She said, I'm not going to listen to what you told me to do. I am a composer. I should have freedom to compose anything I want. So, of course, she did fulfill the requirement. Okay, the government said, okay, all the composers need to compose 10 pieces about like using Polish folk song. Okay, then I'm done my duty. Now I'm going to compose what I want to say. So there is a contemporary music festival happening in, I forgot the year, but just right after the Second World War. And Batevich actually performed her debut of this set of 10 concert etudes here. Okay, so this is contemporary music. So contemporary music is kind of not that easy to listen to because what you just heard is like completely like tonal music, right? We still follow all the theory, harmony, rules, but now we are moving to the atonal era. So you're going to hear little bit like dissonance, and it's not that easy to listen to, but this is a new style. So thank you very much for taking this, we call this sound adventure with me. This number one, concert etude number one, I do want to tell you what is my, the title I gave it. The title I gave it is A Jazz Pianist in Asylum. Okay, why do I give it that? Okay, if you're a jazz musician, in jazz we don't do 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we do? 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Just irregular accent and like just a different feel. So let's listen to number one. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. I hope you are ready. Jazz pianist in asylum. Yeah, totally mental, right? No, but it has this like a crazy first subject, like, and it has that dreamy character in the second subject. You hear like those, those mental illness in asylum. Maybe think about like a sweet memory of early childhood something. Okay, so I think carry is a really, really useful method. This is all I will say. Okay, that's lesson to number 2. It's a really interesting one. I don't know how much you know about Schubert. Schubert has a really, really beautiful piano impromptu. It sounds like this. So Batsevich kind of used this idea of this arpeggio in my right hand you just heard, but she changed it into something else. Yeah, ready? Are you ready? Okay. Quite different from Schubert, right? Yeah. Okay, the last one I want to play by Batsevich is, I think it's number 8, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so I think he is, Batsevich was trying to pay some respect to our fantastic Debussy, to the, I'm sorry, this is like workout. Yeah, so Debussy is an impressionistic style. So in like Monet, you know Monet, those French paintings. So the counter of the thing is not the major thing they were looking for. They want to use the color to show the light, to feeling, and light is what they are looking for, I think. So this is an atonal version of Debussy. It's mellow, so don't worry, it's mellow. Yeah. This is late 19th century, not early, so a bit later than the first female composer, Louise Farrenc. Now is Chaminade, Cécile Chaminade. Okay, basically she's a genius, a prodigy pianist. And by the time Chaminade composed this set of Concert A2 Opus 35, she just moved to like the new horizon in her career. Because back then, remember 19th century, female pianists, the society saw them as like salon pianists. You can only perform in small house. You are not, women shouldn't be, showing themselves too much in a concert hall. But by the time she composed this set of etudes, she actually started her tour. Yes, so, they're just pioneers. They want to do things that society didn't, want them to do. But I really, thanks to these great people, so now I am able to stand here in front of you and play piano for you. So all these composers, musicians, they are really, really just great people in our history. Yeah. Okay, so she does give title to her piece. This is Scherzo. Number one, title is Scherzo. Scherzo is like something quite goofy. It's a bit like me. I mean, not goofy, like to do fun things, not follow the rules completely, Okay, so Scherzo. I think this piece really fits my personality quite well. recital. Yeah! Okay, so this is also the last etude of this set. The title is Tarantella. Tarantella is a traditional dance from Italy, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so of course, I think this is only urban legend, something. If you got bitten by a spider, a poison spider, the only way to cure you would be keep dancing. I don't know. So tarantella is that kind of dance. If you got bitten by a spider, then you just have to keep dancing and dancing and dancing. If you don't, you probably will actually die. I don't know. So, my God. So I'm going to play this crazy dancing piece, bitten by a spider. Okay. So got poisoned by spider is a scary thing, right? Yes. But if you think about it, after dancing like a crazy lunatic, you will be cured. So at the end of the piece, it does convey that victory sound, like big gesture of that. A bit like our society right now, right? All the chaotic things just keep happening. But I don't know. I know as a musician, it is so limited that we can do, but it is not nothing that we can do, right? I think music do give people hope. Yes. The structure of the music, the meaning behind the music, the background of all those composers, if we think about it, I do strongly believe that there are still good spirits in the world. Yes. Even if now we feel like sometimes we do feel dark, like we are in complete darkness. But music always like the light we can still kind of see. Although sometimes the light is so vague, but still there. We gotta have faith. Yes. Okay, so this is Tarantella, my last piece of the recital. Yay! encore. So I just really, really want to say thank you to everyone one more time, especially New Song Church, like provided me this really wonderful space. Like Jerry recorded everything, and then like we moved the piano together. You know, moving here, like I moved to America like 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 7 years ago, and you know, ever since I joined New Song Church and the choir, I really feel like really, just like a family vibe, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because moving here, like, especially you know a lot of things happening like things like lately, including my incident at O'Hare Airport, and all of you really showed me like how great you are. Yeah, I know I'm not a citizen, but I promise you I'm not evil, I'm not bad. I'm not trying to harm our society or anything. I just want to contribute a little bit.
Yeah.
I know it's not so much. I do think music has some certain kind of power to comfort people, to, you know. So one more time, just thank you so much. You probably don't understand how much.
Taco bar downstairs, go around the back, elevators, upstairs, staff, and men.
Thank you.